Okay. I've never ever gone live on anything before. So I'm just doing this live because, as you can see by the title, I'm pregnant. So I have just some top ramen because today's a bit of a nauseous day for me. I'm having a little bit of nausea. So I'm eating packed soup because I don't know how to cook to make real soup. So I'm eating packed soup. But, oh, thank you. But yeah, if you follow me on Snapchat or on Instagram, then you already know that I'm pregnant. But I had never announced it on my YouTube. Not because I don't love y'all, because I do. But it's because when I found out I was pregnant, it was a lot of emotion. Like, it was a lot of emotion. And initially, I didn't know. I know I was gonna keep the baby, and then I already. Well, if you follow me on Instagram, then you know the gender. If you don't follow me on Instagram, follow me on Instagram. If you check my page right now, you'll find out the gender of the baby. But I'll be revealing it here at the end of this live. But I knew I was keeping the baby the moment I found out I was pregnant. It was just the circumstance in which I found out I was pregnant that had me a bit nervous. I just got home from work, by the way. It's gonna be real raw and uncut. But yeah, so I'm pregnant. As of today, I'm officially 17 weeks. So I'm in my 4th month. So we're gonna be just chatting about how I found out I was pregnant, how I found out, what was my reaction, what was the dad's reaction, because of course he knows that we're having a baby. And things like that, real raw and uncut, just really how I feel, because it was a lot of emotion when I found out I was pregnant. So if you have any questions, just drop them and I'll answer them as I see them. But first and foremost, if you do follow me on Instagram or Snapchat and you sent me congratulations, thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Because at this time, I'm very excited about the baby. I'm really excited. I can't wait for the baby to get here. The baby's name is already picked out. The father doesn't like the name, but I love the name that I picked out for the baby. So the name is set. I'm already planning my baby shower. So my baby shower, as of right now, is going to be in New York. For everyone who knows, I do live in Atlanta. But I'm probably going to have my main baby shower in New York. I'm going to have something small here in Atlanta. So that's the plan right now. I'm like kind of nauseous today. I don't know why. Once I hit my 2nd trimester, my symptoms kind of went away for the most part. But I don't know why last week and this week. So first we're going to talk about how I found out I was pregnant. So we're going to go all the way back to March. So, and then I'll talk about like the relationship I had with the dad prior to finding out prior is before or after. But before I found out I was pregnant, I'll talk about the relationship I had with the dad before. And that way that will kind of make sense why I was nervous when I found out I was pregnant. But anyway, so March, I was fine the whole month of March. I didn't have any sickness. I wasn't feeling anything. I was my normal self. If you guys look at my previous YouTube videos, I have picked back up filming and I was actually doing really good. I actually have my laptop open right now because I have like 2 or 3 videos in my laptop just sitting there that I didn't get a chance to ever upload, but I edited. I didn't just upload them because I started getting sick, because at the time I didn't know I was pregnant, but I was just sick. So we go back to March. So the very last week of March, the last Monday in the month of March, I woke up for work and I was very tired. Like, I was like exhausted, y'all. Like I couldn't keep my eyes open. I was at work nodding off, falling asleep, like couldn't keep my eyes open. I didn't know why. I just thought that maybe I was coming down. I didn't know if it was COVID. I didn't know. I just kind of initially thought that I was getting sick because I just couldn't stay awake at work. So that was the last Monday of March. And that feeling lasted me all the way till Friday. So Friday would have been April 1st. So April 1st, I had went to out of town with my family to visit my grandmother's burial in Mississippi. So I was going from April 1st to the 3rd. So during that weekend, that Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, I felt fine. I was still a little tired. I felt like I was a bit sluggish. Like when we went out to the club, when we went like out to eat and everything, I was a bit sluggish. But you know, like when you're out with your family, and at the time I hadn't seen my family in a really long time, at least a year, or some of them that was there, I was meeting for the first time. It was just a lot. So I didn't really notice it until, and I didn't get back to Atlanta. So I drove my car from Atlanta to Knoxville, and then I just rode with them to Memphis. I forgot what the town was. South Haven. There you go. So I got back to Atlanta really, really late Sunday night. So I didn't notice anything. But when I woke up Monday morning, I felt like I got hit by like a truck. Like I felt really, really sick. I felt like I couldn't, like, I don't know about, I didn't know what was going on, but I just did not feel well. So I kind of was like feeling like I just couldn't really do anything. And then I don't know, I just felt weird. My body hurt from like top to bottom. I just thought that I was like dying low key. So that was the start of everything. So when I got back that Monday, which would have been April 4th from Mississippi, I just thought that maybe I had got food poisoning. I didn't know what it was, but no one else that went on the trip was complaining that they were sick. It was just me. So I kind of let that theory go. So then I just kept going on my normal life, and I kept going to work and everything. And then after like 2 weeks or so, I had so in March, I didn't get a menstrual, and I didn't really understand what. I kind of knew why, because like my menstrual just does that. Sometimes it'll like skip a month. It just does that. So for me, that's normal. So when I didn't get a menstrual in March, I wasn't really concerned. I started to get concerned when my menstrual didn't come by early April. That's when I got a bit concerned, and I kind of got my mom involved because I didn't really understand what was going on. So I had extreme nausea, but no vomiting, no vomiting, none whatsoever. But I had extreme nausea, extreme fatigue. I had, it felt like I had a really bad stomach ache. Like I ate something that was just spoiled. Like that's the only way I could explain it. Was like, think of like a really bad stomach ache, but it doesn't really feel like a normal stomach ache. But that's how I felt, and I got really frustrated and then it's a medical term for it because I found it on YouTube. I can't remember what it's called, but I had developed like that really bad. I still have it now. That really bitter taste in my mouth. So a lot of foods didn't taste right to me. On top of the nausea and the queasiness, I couldn't do it. Like orange juice makes me so queasy. Any type of lemonade, any type of acidic drink, I can't do it. Water makes me queasy unless it's like ice cold. Cereal, I don't eat cereal anymore, and all I used to eat is like honey bunches of oats. I can't eat that anymore. It doesn't make me feel well. It just all those things started happening. But with all it is, I'm not even thinking that I'm pregnant. I'm thinking that like I caught something, and I'm like, okay, I don't think it's COVID because I had just got my booster shot. So I'm like, I don't think it's COVID. So I'm like, it's not food poisoning, but it's something that's making me sick. Now, it's almost 3 weeks now when I'm still sick, and then I had developed extreme bloating. Like my stomach was hard like a rock, and it was like and then my boobs was hurting so bad. Like I was going through it. Like I was literally feeling like I just couldn't deal. So at the time, I'm telling like the dad, like he's like, what's wrong with you? I'm like, I don't feel well, whatever. But he's like, oh, you have to like use the bathroom. And I'm like, no, that's not it. But anyway, so I'm like complaining to everybody I don't feel well. And then my coworker was like, when the last time you had a period? So I was just like, by this time, it's like April, I don't even know. But my period comes like around the 17th of every month. So I gave myself to April 11th, and by April 11th, I didn't have a period. I was going to the doctor because that would have been 2 months with no period. So a few days before, so April 11th come around, she come and she go, and I still don't have no menstrual, and now I'm scared. But I'm still not thinking it's a baby. I'm thinking like, things run in my family like fibroids, cysts, all that stuff. So I'm like, oh my God, what if it's a fibroid? And we'll get to that because I do have a fibroid. They did find a fibroid, a rather large fibroid, but we'll get to that in a second. So throughout all this, I'm still not thinking I'm pregnant. I'm not thinking about no baby because I don't have the lifestyle to start having kids. So it's like, that's just not on my mind. And I've been pretty careful to an extent with this person. So it's like, I'm not thinking we about to have no baby, and then our relationship was just not healthy to the point to where like we're gonna introduce a baby into that mix. But we'll get to that too. So my coworker was the first one who was just like, I think you should take a pregnancy test, but I'm like, I'm not pregnant. Like, I know I'm not pregnant. But when I didn't get a menstrual, I made a doctor's appointment with the OB because it's just like, okay, now I'm really nervous. I'm not having a menstrual, and it's been 2 months with no period, and it's like, but in my mind, I know I'm not pregnant because like in my mind, I always thought like when women find out they're pregnant, they vomit and stuff, and I had no vomiting, y'all. Like I did not vomit to this day, knock on wood, but I have not vomited, so I'm not thinking that I'm pregnant. Like I feel like I didn't have some of the pregnancy symptoms that some women have, so I'm not even worried about that. So long story short, my coworkers convinced me to take a pregnancy test on my lunch break. So on my lunch break on April 18th, on my lunch break, I go to Target. I work across the street from a Target. I walked across the street and I went and got a pregnancy test. So when I got home, I have the pregnancy test. Hold on. I know, super creepy that I still have my original pregnancy test. So so I took the pregnancy test when I got home. Mind you, the dad is in the other room, and I'm in the bathroom trying to be quiet while taking the pregnancy test because he doesn't know about giving people personal space when in the bathroom, and he walks in while I'm in the bathroom all the time. So I'm trying to be quiet and take a pregnancy test while he's in the other room. When I took the first pregnancy test, and mind you, my dumb behind didn't get the one with the words, I got the one with the lines, and I never took a pregnancy test before, so I was confused about the lines. So the first pregnancy test, the line was very faint to me. To me, this was not a positive. This was a possibly. It wasn't a positive. It was a possibly. So I sent a picture of the pregnancy test to my mother, and she's like, go off the rail saying that it's positive, honey. I was like, no, because why the line's so faint. So then I showed the pregnancy test to my eldest sister, and she was like, I don't know, because the lines are faint. Like, I don't know if that's positive or not. So my mom was like, don't worry about it. Just take the second pregnancy test as soon as you wake up tomorrow morning. So he spent the night that night, and I could barely sleep because I'm just like, what if we're having a baby? Because now I'm starting to think maybe everybody is right, because I still have not had a damn period, and I still felt really, really sick. I couldn't even focus at my job. So then the next morning, I woke up at 5 o'clock in the morning. I knew at that time he's not waking up. So I woke up at 5 a.m. I went in the bathroom. I took the second pregnancy test, and the line was a bit more visible. She was a bit thick, the line. But I'm still just like, I know I'm not pregnant. So I kind of got a little upset because I'm just like, this is not happening right now. I just don't have the lifestyle to have no baby. Like, I just am kind of like doing my own thing. And our relationship was not at a point, it's still not at a point to where, it's weird, but I just feel like this is not the relationship that I wanted to bring a baby into. Like, I knew that when I started having kids, I wanted to be married. I wanted to have certain things in place before I had a child. And I just wasn't, my ducks were not in a row to have baby come in and just like, surprise. But anyway, so do y'all want to see the pregnancy test? I know this is weird that I keep it, but I want to keep it. Like, my DNA is on here. I can show this to my baby one day. So these are the pregnancy tests that I took. And I'm telling y'all, these lines is faint. Can y'all see that? It may be a bit thicker now, but these lines is faint. If you ask me, they faint. Well, this one is not, but this one's pretty faint. So these are the pregnancy tests that I took. I kept them in a Ziploc. He found these. I hid them. He found these like last, like two, 3 weeks ago, child. Anyway, so the next day, so I took the second pregnancy test, and the line was still there, saying basically it was positive, and I got really upset. And then, so I kind of was like, you know, Brittany, don't worry about it. You know, you have a doctor's appointment tomorrow. The doctor's gonna be the end all be all when you go to a doctor's appointment tomorrow. So next day, I spoke to him that morning, and he was all like lovey-dovey or whatever. Mind you, we're not together. We're very much so not together. We broke up April of 2021. We broke up. We've been broken up ever since, but I'll get to that in a second, to how this baby came about, and we're not together. So, and again, if you guys have any questions, just leave them, and I think if you write a question, I can see it and I'll answer it. But anyway, so the next day I went to the OB, and they tell me that I'm pregnant. And I got to crying, y'all. I just got the boo-hooing, and I was like distraught. Like, I was like in that chair, in that little room with the scale and all that stuff. I was in there completely in tears. Like, I was like distraught. Like, I'm not even exaggerating. I was distraught. And the nurse is like, you could tell she was kind of in shock, but she still like, she started to try to like calm me down. And she's like, oh, so it's not a good thing? Like, you being pregnant is not good? And I was like, no, it's good. And I'm just like trying not to cry. So as I'm trying not to cry, and she's trying to explain certain things to me, I'm texting my mom to tell my mom that I'm pregnant. So then it sets in, how do I tell him that I'm pregnant? So this will be my first child, but this will be his. This is not his first child. It's not. But this is my first baby. So I was just still nervous to tell him. Like, he gives me really bad anxiety. Like, I get really bad anxiety with him. So it's like, I could have to tell him that I have a cold, and I'm gonna feel like really anxious about it. So I freaking went to, so yeah, so they told me I'm pregnant. They checked me, and then this was on April 20th, and at that day I was 8 weeks and 6 days pregnant. So I'm like, oh my God, how did I go 2 months without knowing that I'm pregnant? And it's like, well, duh, Brittany, girl, because you ain't had no damn period. That's why you went 2 months and didn't know you were pregnant. So yeah, I was 8 weeks and 6 days, and the baby is due November 24th of this year. So in a few months, there will be me and another person, a little person. So I tell him that I'm pregnant, cause he had texted me, and he asked me a question, and I just kind of just wrote it. And no, I had wrote something else, and he thought that I was trying to say something else, because he just thought I was talking about something else. And I was like, no, so-and-so, I'm pregnant. And he was like, his response, I don't want to go too much into his response to him finding out I'm pregnant, because it's not that he didn't, like, I don't want to speak for this person, but we both agreed in our own ways that in our relationship was not, a baby it just wasn't healthy. So he before I continue, I'm gonna pause right here. So me and this person we met in February. We started dating March of 2020. We broke up April of 2021. So if you've been watching my YouTube channel for a while, you know that this apartment I'm in is our apartment together, me and the guy. We moved in together. So I don't want to go too much because he's kind of popular, I guess, on social media. I guess he's kind of popular on TikTok. So I don't want to go too much. But this is our apartment together. When we broke up, he moved out. And we decided that we were going to work on our relationship. After we had some time, we had a couple months of not speaking. We were working on it. But when you tell somebody, when you and another person are working on a relationship, you have to deal with thank you so much for congratulations. Thank you. Oh, that's Nina. Hey, girl. Thank you so much. So when you and a person decide you're going to work on your relationship, you have to deal with the issues. And I kind of feel like I wanted to deal with our issues, and he did, but he's like the worst communicator ever. And I don't mean to bash him or anything, but it's like, if you tell somebody you want to work on having a relationship with them, you have to put in effort. You have to be consistent. And I just kind of felt like he didn't want to put the work in to really work on it. And then at that point, the situation, I can't even call it the relationship because we were broken up, but the situation became, even before we broke up, the relationship had become really one-sided. And I felt like I was putting in more than what I was getting out. And at that time, I felt like I wasn't even getting the bare minimum, let alone anything more. So when he approached me about us working on it and living separately, I was cool with that. But it's like, I'm still doing everything. Like, I still am doing everything. So I kind of felt like, how are we working on it? So then now we're arguing constantly. We're good for a couple of days. We're not for the next couple of days. And this went on for, we in June now. Me and this dude been broken up for well over a year. And we still not back together. Because it's like, I would prefer that we deal with the issues. And he would prefer that now again, I can't speak for him, but I kind of feel like he would prefer that we would just let the issues be what they are, but then I feel like they're not fixed. And some of the issues that we had were very severe. The relationship became very toxic, very unhealthy, very much so mentally not okay for either person. So why would you want to be with somebody and not deal with that first? I don't know. So now when I told him I was pregnant, that's why I understood that's why his response was what it was, because it's like, we go through it so much with each other. It's like, who wants to do that around a baby? Nobody. So I understood where his response was coming from. However, what I didn't appreciate was that my feelings weren't taken into consideration. Because as I said in the beginning of this live, the moment I found out I was pregnant, I knew I was keeping my baby. Like, there was no if or ands or buts about it. And I kind of felt like, for him being somebody who already has other kids, okay, he should have been more, I don't know the word, but I feel like he should have taken my feelings into consideration a lot more than what he did. I understood the message behind it. The delivery was wrong. I guess you could put it that way. So I was, of course, upset. So I talked to my mom about it that day. She kind of calmed me down, and I saw him that evening. And then when I saw him that evening, he was a lot more, his initial response was respectful to an extent. When I see him in person that evening, his response was more so like as if it was a joke. And to me, that wasn't cool, and to me, it wasn't funny. So so that was it. So then I found out I'm pregnant. Once I tell him, to be brutally honest, we kind of got into it here at the apartment, and I ain't seen him for 3 days. So I'm really upset about that, because I just kind of feel like if as a man, if somebody tells you they're pregnant, you should be more compassionate, I guess. So that was that. So my reaction, that's how I found out I was pregnant. Now to my reaction, of course I cried. I knew I wanted to keep the baby the moment I found out I was pregnant. My thing was, my life is about to change. I have to change the way I eat, the way I think, the way I do things. It's not just going to be about me anymore. It's about me and this other person. And I have to, take care of this person, make sure that this person's needs are met before mine. And it's like, I kind of had to, what I'm struggling with is accepting that it's not within the circumstance that I would like it to be. So, I always dreamed of having kids, and I always dreamed of having children when I was married and I was stable to where like I had my own home and I wasn't renting, and I wanted so many things in my life to be done before I had a child. This baby is very unexpected, and I don't know how I almost said the gender of the baby. I don't know how the baby got here, but I know God doesn't make mistakes. So I'm just gonna say the baby is a girl. I'm having a little girl. I don't know how she got here, but she got here. And I know God doesn't make mistakes. Everything happens for a reason. I go through my moments of feeling like I failed before I kind of even started, if that makes sense, because I'm not giving my baby a 2-parent home. I'm not giving my baby things that I feel like, it was kind of emotional because it's like, I kind of feel like in a way I failed her before she even got here, because it's like, I wanted her to be born. I'm not gonna cry on this video because I my first time doing makeup in like weeks, but it's like, I wanted her to be born in such different circumstances, you know what I mean? And her father is not argumentative, and granted, he's amazing to his other kids. Like, I don't have a problem with that part, but it's like, I don't know how to separate, I guess, the way I see. So he's good to his other kids, but it's like, I kind of in my mind feel like he'll be the same with my baby, but I don't like the way he treats me. So my issue now is separating those two. I kind of feel like, if you can't treat me the way I want to be treated and speak to me the way I want to be spoken to and support me in a way I like to be supported, how can you do that for my daughter? Like, that's where my confusion comes in. I don't think that makes sense. My parents are not together, but I've never seen my father do anything malicious to my mother, and whether he has or he hasn't, I've never seen it. So it's kind of like, but my dad also, I've had spurts without my dad. So it's kind of like, I just feel like in a way I failed her before she even got here. And that's what I'm struggling with at the moment. And I'm also trying to separate the feeling of like, that just that she's not being born in the circumstance in which I would have wanted her to be, as I already said. So I don't know. It's like, it's just really weird. I go through my moments where I kind of regret that her father is who he is. Not that I don't think he'll be a great dad, but again, I don't like the way he treats me. I don't like the lack of support that he gives me. He's not a bad guy. He's really not. Like, he's a cool dude, but it's like, he's very much so, he gaslights me a lot, and it's like, you never know how stuff like that takes a toll until it does, I guess. So that's how I found out I was pregnant. That was my reaction to I was being pregnant, and that was the dad's reaction to me being pregnant. At this point, all my family knows, my job knows, I'm gonna show you guys a baby bump too. Things like that. I don't know if his family knows that I'm pregnant. I don't speak to them, so I don't know if they know that I'm pregnant. I feel like that's not my responsibility to tell them that I'm pregnant, so I don't really deal with that. What else? So, I sleep very well once I get to sleep. I'm having like issues with my legs. Like, my legs feel really funny when I'm sleeping. The fibroid. So when I had that first OB appointment on April 20th, he like examined me, and he kind of, I don't know how he felt the fibroid, but he was like, have you ever been diagnosed with it? And I was like, no. But I know fibroids run in my family. Excuse me. So he sent me to another hospital. Oh, thank you. I promise I'm not gonna cry in this video. But he sent me to another hospital, and I had to have a transvaginal, pelvic, and abdominal ultrasounds. And they found 2 things. So thank God I only have 1 fibroid. However, the fibroid is very large, and it's in my uterus. So the way it was explained to me was, one is that I'm a high-risk pregnancy. Due to where the fibroid is and how large the fibroid is, I am at risk for miscarriage and premature birth. At this time, I'm kind of out of the miscarriage window, prayerfully. I don't care what happens, I take it easy at work. You're lucky if I pick up a pencil. But you know, the premature birth kind of worries me. Cause I want her to be full term. But he basically, the first OB basically told me that I need to just take it easy, no heavy lifting, and just to take it easy, and that the baby, they have to monitor it to make sure the baby is basically outgrowing the fibroid, that the fibroid is not obstructing the baby's growth. So that's what the first OB told me. So at this time, currently, I don't see him anymore. I'm at another place for babies and expecting mom, obstetrics, whatever it is, here in Atlanta, and I love it. They told me, basically, they gave me kind of hope, because they said that sometimes when a woman is pregnant with a fibroid in the uterus, the baby growing will shrink. Something like, basically, the fibroid can get smaller. So that's what I'm hoping for. I'm hoping that my baby will, you know, outgrow the fibroid. The dad has been really encouraging with that. Like when I told him about it, he was very intrigued as to what that was. And he has been really encouraging, like, you know, we have to just pray. You know, the baby's going to make it. The fibroid won't hurt her or anything. And I've been watching a lot of YouTube videos. And, like, the only thing that kind of scares me is some women who had a fibroid in their uterus while pregnant, they had to have C-section. So I really don't want to have a C-section. But some women had healthy births. So I'm still worried about it. But that kind of gave me some comfort. The videos I found on YouTube of women who have very much so healthy babies, full-term pregnancies with the fibroids. And then, you know, once I have the baby, I can go ahead and, you know, I have the option of having the fibroid removed. So, yeah, and then they also found a little bit of, I have been having some pain, like, up in here. They couldn't really tell me exactly what the pain is, but my x-ray did show that I had they found some extra fat around my liver, so I have to watch what I eat. I have to just lay off the grease a little bit. My appetite has been when I first got pregnant, my appetite did pick up because I was so nauseous, I couldn't hold down anything. So whatever I could eat, I would gorge. But then I would feel sick the next day. So these days, I can't eat much still, but I just watch what I eat and I lay off the grease so that way that doesn't keep happening. I do have some discomfort, but my doctor says as long as I'm not bleeding, it's fine. Cramps while pregnant is the weirdest thing. And my boobs, like, honey. So anyway, so that was that. As of today, me and the daddy ain't speaking again, child. We done got to it about 3 days ago, honey. But my mother has been the biggest support system for me throughout this whole from the moment I found out I was pregnant to now, my mother has been the only emotional support that I have. Like without my mother, I don't know how I would do this process. I am having some difficulty with thinking about what I'm going to do as far as living situations. With me having a baby, you know, I want to stay in Atlanta because her father is here. But at the same time, I would honestly prefer to be back in New York with my family because I have so many relatives back in New York. It's just that I don't want to make a rash decision and move, and then it's like not the best, and then I kind of feel like it's gonna be hard moving with not my mom on this live giving herself compliments, but I don't want to move with the newborn, and then I also don't want to move while I'm 8-9 months pregnant either. So it's kind of like I don't know if I'm gonna stay here in Atlanta or if I'm gonna move. Like I said, the only reason why I would even consider staying here in Atlanta, because I've built a nice life for myself here in Atlanta, and her father's here. Again, I don't know if his family knows that I'm pregnant. I don't speak to them, so if they know that I'm pregnant or not, I wouldn't know. But I also wouldn't expect his family to help me really, because it's kind of like, I don't know, I just wouldn't. I feel like that would come from my family. So it's I don't know. I don't know if I'm gonna stay in Atlanta, if I'm gonna move back to New York. I don't know what I'm gonna do. But as of today, we are 17 weeks. Tomorrow is my birthday. I turn 30 tomorrow. Some reason why I want to do this live today. Tomorrow I'm gonna be 30 and pregnant, and that's not what I expected. This summer was supposed to be my hot girl summer, but I'm gonna be a hot mama come 2023. So I guess I can show you my belly. If you're on Instagram, you probably haven't seen it, but I don't know. This is how we looking. I have been kind of self-conscious about my belly, because I feel like for only being 17 weeks, I'm a bit big, but I don't know. I'm big. I feel like for 17 weeks I'm a bit big, but I don't know. Jeans are officially the devil, you know. But that's about it. What else before I go? Because I don't want to hold you guys here too long. I'm gonna be doing mommy I'm gonna be back on YouTube filming videos, kind of doing pregnancy videos. I'm gonna start giving you guys updates every couple of weeks. I do have my 20-week appointment on July 5th. So let you guys know how that goes. I already know what hospital I'm gonna give birth at. I'm gonna give birth. I kind of have a birthing plan in place. I'm also trying to plan my baby shower. I'm just trying to do a lot. As of today, my mom has been very much supportive. Like, I know, like, I can call my family for anything because they love me so much. The baby's dad, he's excited for her to get here. Like I said, I'm still practicing on taking my feelings out of it. With everything that involves him, I just want him to be the best that he can be to our daughter. Like I said, her name is already picked out, her first and middle name. I like her name that I have picked up for her, but I'll reveal her name once she's here. What else? That's pretty much it, you guys. So yeah, I'm gonna start giving updates on YouTube about how everything's going. Of course, if I'm on Instagram, you'll see updates too, but I'm gonna give exclusive updates to YouTube, and then I'll give little snippets to Instagram and the rest of them. But most of it's gonna be here on my YouTube channel. I cannot wait for her to meet, I almost said her name. I cannot wait for her to meet all of her YouTube aunties and uncles. Thank you for everyone who sent me congratulations. Thank you for everyone who has been supporting me through this whole process. I'm excited that I'm gonna be a mom. Like, I'm gonna be a mom. Like, somebody's gonna call me mommy in like 5 months. Like, I cannot believe it. Like, I'm just like in shock that I'm gonna be a parent. I'm also looking into, you know, not even best ways, but healthy ways to co-parent. I'm looking into that as well. Yeah, if you guys have any questions, I guess you guys can DM me or something, and I can do a follow-up Q&A if you guys want me to. But I just really want to do this live because I really didn't feel like, honestly, I was too lazy to film a video. And then that way I can just let everybody know that I'm pregnant. So not everybody knows. There's nobody who doesn't know that I'm pregnant. So I'm gonna finish eating my top ramen, and I'm gonna put my saved pregnancy test back in my bathroom, and we're probably gonna lay down and watch Judge Judy. And then yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this live. I hope you guys are just as excited as I am, and I don't know how to cut the live off, but I will see you guys soon. Okay.